Mr. Way, I'm so excited about your collection. There's nothing like coming out here and seeing this exhibit. There is no way that you can just go over there and look at a picture and say, oh, the exhibit is nice. You really have to come out here and see it. Could you tell us a little bit about what you have in this room?
Sure, we call this the William and Mary room, even though some of the furniture in the room is a little bit earlier, such as this Dutch cabinet here, which dates about 1620. You know, like you have grandmother's furniture today that was handed down. These pieces were well made, they were functional, so they would still be in a house in the 1690s. We have a beautiful pair of Dutch chairs here, and if you saw in the Charles II one with the crown and all, now you have chairs that are much higher, more delicate, and with a different type of turning on the bottom of the feet. We have trumpet legs now. So the chairs became more elaborate and much higher in the back.
Why are the chairs lower?
Well, they're not really lower. Some might appear lower because of the upholstery, but then this is a period where upholstery became very important, comfort in the home. If you go from the Elizabethan room, from the hard plank chair, then you get to Charles II with the introduction of cane work, and now upholstery comes into the home. So things were more elaborate now and more comfortable. So luxurious is very important in a home. Here we have a very, very important day bed, which belonged to the Pillsbury family at one time. It's about 1690, and this type of carving is something similar to those pieces that you see in Hetloop Palace in Holland. We have cupboards in this room, and we also have some beautiful period portraits of the time of William and Mary.
And what is the next room that we're going to after this?
The collector's favorites room. This would be fun.
Great. We'll see you when we come back with the collector's room. If you think that everything that we saw before was exciting, we're now in the collector's favorites room, and take a look at this.
Well, this is an exciting room because we have some of the little gems in my collection. Through the exhibit, you'll see drawings, you'll see etchings, some by Rembrandt. And in this particular case, you see a wonderful Charles II brass clock from about 1670, 1680, which was found in a secondhand junk shop, and it's signed by a well-known clockmaker. We have some nice 17th century silver. We have a nice early iron, which is dated 1693, which is very unusual. And we have some other pieces in this case that you would like as well. Over here, we have a wonderful solid oak bust of King Charles I of England, who, like I said before, was beheaded in 1649. This was Charles II's father. This was found sitting on a piece of 19th century furniture in a shop in New York many years ago. And they had no idea what it was, but I knew what it was, so I scooped it up. Matter of fact, he had dinner with me sitting on the top of a dining room table in a restaurant when I picked him up. And behind you, we have some other wonderful miniatures on copper, Dutch and English as well. We have some nice early English coins and Dutch coins from the 1600s.
Could you point out which one is the oldest coin that you have here?
The oldest one would be Elizabeth I, dated 1580. And what's interesting in this case is we also have a letter signed by King Charles II of England, which was found at a flea market many years ago, and it was authenticated by the Piermont Morgan Library in Manhattan.
Before we take a look at that, where did you get your coins?
Here and there, some coin dealers and some flea markets. The commemorative medals I found in flea markets for like $10, $20 a shot. But then again, they thought they were 19th century, so they had no idea they were, early.
Well, it pays to be knowledgeable.
It does. Here's some wonderful little miniatures on copper. These are wonderful miniatures of a beautiful Dutch lady, an older woman, and one that's on copper signed by Cornelius de Vos, and a nice Dutch one that was found in Maine recently. And here's the letter signed by Charles II. And we have some nice little genre paintings. We have one by Adrian van Oostade painted on copper, which is a tavern scene, people smoking pipes, and a wonderful ink drawing of Charles II.
And what type of paper would you say the ink drawing was made on? Isn't that rice paper?
It looks like rice paper, Chinese paper, yes, but it's very early.
Okay, let's continue on to this room. This is the children's room. How lovely.
This is the children's room. This room is interesting because we have some Dutch tiles from the 1600s which show children playing games. We have a little doll from the 1500s. And we have a little traveling brass candlestick from 1690 that you unscrew and you can put into a pouch. And a nice little silver fork from 1690 and a little silver cup. There's also a cribbage board made out of oak, which is very early, dates about 1600. Very unusual for a cribbage board that early.
Now we know what they were doing in those days, cribbage in the 1600s. Okay. Tell us the story that you told me before about this painting. I think it's beautiful.
This is an interesting painting. It's Dutch, 1600s, painted on oak panel. And it's showing a family of chickens where two of them are being distracted by a bug in one of the leaves of a tree. And the mother and the baby one are watching a stranger walking in trying to steal food or water out of the bowl. So you know they're up to no good because you can tell by them staring at them. But a wonderful little Dutch painting. And here we have the pancake maker showing a little boy with a pancake and a man looking inside the house. We put this in the exhibit because we showed, even though it's dirty, how it would look after it's clean. You can see the blue sky up, outside. And behind you we have a nice full-length portrait of a boy from about 1680. Here he's wearing his full costume of the day. So you know he's a young boy who came from a very wealthy family, and you know he was a gentleman because he's walking with a stick.
That's beautiful.
Yes, right.
And what other room are you going to take us to from here?
We're going to go to the evolution of seating furniture now, which is different from the stool up to the William and Mary chair.
Great. And when we come back, we will continue more of the George Way exhibit.